Let's go into senior training.
Yeah.
Senior training, those who are 12 to 16, 17, 18. 17, 18, we'll kind of talk about in its own separate category as they're, training for moving into college, thinking about being an NCAA D1 swimmer, D2 swimmer, maybe even thinking about the Olympics. But this is more for those who have a sound, fundamentally good stroke, and now they're starting to build in that strength and that endurance and that resistance training. So 12 to, I really want to say 16-ish. The biggest tip and trick, the best thing that I can tell you is working on your underwaters.
Right.
I mean, they call it the fifth stroke for a reason.
Right.
Especially if you're a short course swimmer, right? If you're, because that's what we swim in college, right? At NCs, you don't swim long course. And for short course, your underwaters are so important. You look at any event now, and everybody's pretty much at least going halfway, but almost to the 15-meter marker every time.
Right.
You look at top swimmers in the world. Caleb Dressel has some of the best underwaters into that breakout. Ryan Hoffer, who just won NCs, I mean, he hits the 15 marker pretty much every single lap, even in the 100.
Right.
So underwaters are so important. I mean, they've made so many rules on trying to restrict how well you can be with underwaters. So many teams are trying to figure out ways to be better underwater. The Ryan Lochte rule, how when you're swimming freestyle, you push off on your back and you do your underwater kicks on your back because it's stronger. Do you know why kicking on your back is stronger for underwater kicks?
I do not know.
It's because you're kicking both ways more efficiently.
Right.
When you're on your stomach, a lot of people forget that up kick and they just focus on that down kick. So it's a poor recovery and then a strong kick down. And so this is what your underwater kicks look like when you're on your stomach. But on your back, I mean, you're driving both ways. You're driving back up, driving back down. And so you're just so much faster on your back. That's why you see backstrokers. I mean, they've been doing it for years. I mean, their underwaters are just exceptional. A lot of programs are training where when you push off the wall, because you can't be on your back now because of the Ryan Lochte rule, they're having you do your kicks on your side now.
Right.
And really that is because of fishes, right? Of animals. A fish kicks both ways like this, right? If you're lacking on one side, that fish is just going to swim in a circle, right? And so you just need to be very efficient kicking both ways, whether that's going to be on your side or whether that's going to be on your stomach. You just got to focus on feeling the bottom of your feet, driving that water up, and then driving back down and making a really fluid, fast kick. But I mean, underwater's number one way that you're going to improve any stroke, breaststroke too.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
They changed the rule now for that first 25 of breaststroke. You can do your pull out past the 15-meter marker now. And so it's just become so important to have super strong pullouts. I mean, Caleb Dressel, when he broke the 200 IM American record at SECs, I mean, if you watch his breaststroke portion and watch it, go just YouTube search Caleb Dressel's 200 IM at SECs, and you'll watch his breaststroke pullout. He just pushes off the wall, and that pull, I mean, he just accelerates so much.
You know what? Go watch that right now. Pause the video.
We'll wait.
Pause it. We'll be here.
Search Caleb Dressel.
Go watch that.
SECs.
Go watch
that breaststroke pullout.
You need to go watch it if you haven't seen it already.
But it's just, you're gonna be so much faster moving underwater with your underwater kicks, and I should rephrase that, with a solid streamline too. If you have a poor streamline, doesyour matter how efficient, how well your underwater kicks are. It's just,
the hard way.
It's not gonna be. I mean, if your streamline's like this,
that's exactly what mine looked like.
it's not gonna be as effective. You gotta have a tight streamline, and that's something you need to be working on as an age grouper, right? That's why you need to be so fundamentally sound in everything that you're doing, because once you start focusing on these things, if you don't have a good streamline, forget about it.
Right.
Now you're setting yourself back when you should be working on, gaining speed, gaining strength. Now you got to focus on, I got to get my streamline tighter, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you're always going to be fixing things and tuning and adjusting to your stroke and technique and form, especially as you hit puberty and you start gaining in height, and start getting used to your body, but you want to have that set as an age grouper. And then when you're starting to focus on speed and strength and everything, I mean, if you have it all there, it's just going to be so much better for you. Especially if you're a short swimmer, like us. We're short. So I'm 5'8".
I'm about 5'8".
5'8". If you're shorter, underwaters are going to save you.
Right.
Save you. Diaceto, I think that guy's like,
that dude's short.
I think he's 5'8" as well.
Yeah,
but he
and Cody Miller as well.
Yeah, they crush it in the underwaters. Right. Diaceto in the 400 IM, absolutely crazy in his underwaters. I mean, he's just an amazing swimmer in general.
Oh, yeah.
But being a shorter swimmer, having those strong underwaters is going to help you out a lot. And then the second thing I'd say is the kick. The kick it's gotta be there. Your legs are a larger muscle group than your arms, and so if you don't have good legs, you're still gonna swim well. Don't get me wrong, but you're just not gonna have that drive forward, right? You got to think of it like a speedboat, right? The motor's in the back, right? I mean, that thing drives you like crazy, right? If you have paddles, it's like, you're moving, you're going, but it's like that motor in the back is really going to drive you forward, especially as a sprint. Anything, freestyle, backstroke, butterfly, you gotta have a strong kick. Right. And if you think about it, with any stroke, you're kicking way more than you're pulling. Think about a sprint freestyle, 50 free. Your kick tempo should be a 6-beat kick, right? And that's a strong, fast kick right there. You need to be a 6-beat kick kicker for a sprint freestyle. So if you pulled, say, 20 times at a 6-beat kick, right, then you just kicked 120 times. 120 times compared to your 20 strokes.
Right.
I mean, that's insane. You're kicking way more. So have a strong foundation in your legs. Focus on kicking a lot, and having that up kick too. Driving that up kick, driving that down kick. You have to have a strong kick both ways, especially in butterfly. Even in butterfly, I mean, you're doing 2 kicks to a pull, right? And so you gotta have that strong kick, driving that up kick up and then back down on that arm recovery over. On breaststroke, it's a 1-to-1 ratio, but what's really driving your breaststroke is what?
The kicks.
Legs, right? I mean, yeah, kicks. Easy. But yeah, that's what's going to drive your breaststroke. And so you got to have a good, strong, foundational kick that's going to help you, with anything. And this is mainly for guys, too. Because, I mean, you go to the gym, what are you working on?
Yeah, I don't go to the gym, man.
But guys go to the gym. What do they work on?
Upper body.
Always,
right? Arms,
chest, arms, legs, or not legs. Just arms, chest, shoulders. Girls go to the gym. What do they work on?
They're working on their legs.
Legs all the time. Girls are always working on their legs. So guys, they forget about their legs all the time. And I see this a lot when I'm working with male sprinters. I'm like, dude, you got a kick. Like, what are you doing? Right. You're just dragging your legs behind you. Use your legs. I mean, they're there, right? And they're not going to slow you down. So use your legs and have that strong, fast, whitewater kick that's really going to drive your stroke. But yeah, I think for that senior age group, 12 to 16, that's the best thing I can tell you is focus on your underwaters, especially in short course yards. Underwaters, everybody's at least going halfway. Right. And so if you can, at practice, if you can just focus, okay, let me get 4 kicks off this wall, right? 2 weeks down the road, it's okay, let's get 5 kicks off this wall. 2 weeks down the road, okay, let's get 6 kicks off these walls, right? If you can just slowly break that down at practices, no matter what set, like if you're doing 10 100s on 120, like that's a great set to really focus on those underwaters. If you're doing 4 400s on, I don't know, whatever interval, like that's still a great set to focus on those underwaters. And that's another thing too. If you're not doing that during practices, you gotta do it after practice. You gotta focus on those small things after practice as well. You gotta put in that work. I mean, our swimming and other sports, it's not much different. But people think it's so different because we're in water, we're not on land. But training's gotta really like be the same. I mean, we're athletes, right? We're not much different from any other sport, and you see it all the time. Basketball players working with trainers on their ball handling, right? Focusing on creating moves to create space, to get a shot up. Like, you've got to be focusing on that as a swimmer. You're training in the water, building that speed and endurance, but then after practice, okay, let's focus on small things. Let's get those turns down, right? Let's get those starts down. Let's get those underwaters, right? Let's hit those breakouts. It's the small things that you got to be focusing on away from practice that's going to help you better as a swimmer, right?
Right.